Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Abishai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, and to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. And this is a video that I saw that the brother, I think, Adama Gamar or Gabar, briefly, I'm not looking at it, so Salaki if I got the brother's name, but I saw that he had used this clip. All right, so, you know, when I went to go to it, the original popped up, and I decided to use it in this. And I found it funny that they're playing a blame game because this is a Russian soldier. All right. And it says Russian veteran recalls their crimes in Germany. All right. Now, it's funny because the Americans kind of exclude Russia from the whole World War II thing as if they didn't play a role in it. And the truth of the matter is the Russians are the reason that World War II was won. All right. The Russians' involvement is directly related to the victory over Germany and whatever people were joined unto Germany. But they downplay that and left, and that's why this Third World War is going to be mainly between these Edomites, you know, fighting all over again. So what you about to hear about Edomite on Edomite crime, which is the worst, because remember, there's nothing that Jake can do in America, modern day time. They can put as many big fat women with no teeth and 10 baby daddies, and they could put a bunch of pants-sagging coons out there to shoot and kill each other, and it would never amount to the blood that has been spilled and the violence and the wickedness that has been done by this very people this man represents on the screen. All right? And not just the Russian Edomites, but the American Edomites. As a matter of fact, the Russians are you know, as far as citizens goes, are quite mild compared to those here in America. All right? But this is Genesis 27 and 40, and it reads, "And by the sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, and thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." And when they broke that yoke, the blessing of their sword came into play. And so these people, everywhere that they are in the earth today, swearing in on Bible, setting up governments and churches, every place where they walk, every place where they dwell, they took it by bloody violence with the sword. All right? And as it says in Revelations, which we will read, he that lives by the sword will die by the sword. That's why Yahushua told Peter to put his sword away. It wasn't time yet. But without any further ado, let's let Psalm 64 and 8, let his tongue fall upon themselves, because the Americans did worse. They should just look at the American Vietnam and war movies. All right? There's plenty that movie with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn. You know, I forget the name of it, when they took the Vietnamese teenager, the young lady from the village, and they raped her over and over again for days and days at a time. You know, they showed you that in Platoon, how they took like a 13, 14-year-old girl, and almost the whole platoon was taking turns, you know, with her. Until the character of Charlie Sheen came and broke it up. But we know that was very rare. That sort of thing didn't happen. You see, the media and everything is always set up to make these people look like they're the good guys, when I always tell you, beware of the bald-faced pale man, especially those that wear neckties, suits, and military uniforms. They are the most dangerous people that the world has ever seen in any society. All right? When it comes to all the mass shootings, 98% is done by whom? These people.
Километров мы нагоняем, мы упираемся, дорога загромождена, это отступает гражданское население Восточной Пруссии. Вот. повозки, фургоны, автомобили. У них автомобили такие, не военные. Вот. И вот наша пехота и танкисты сбрасывают все эти повозки, фургоны, машины в кювет. И пока они сбрасывают, значит, солдаты срываются со своих мест и начинают насиловать жен.
And see, they're all guilty of it. If you remember the movie Fury, which was a really good movie. Two of the Michael Pena was in it. He's one of my favorite actors. And I'm the guy who played the Punisher and Shane in Walking Dead. And I'm Jace. Damn, it's aggravating me that I can't remember his name. He's one of my favorite actors, modern actors. Of course, Brad Pitt is in it. Another great actor. And if you remember the scene when they came upon the German town, if you remember the scene when they went into, what did? They immediately started taking the women and having sex with them. And some of them were coming to do it willfully, but the fact of the matter is a lot of them were being forced. All right, if you remember the scene when they went into the house of the apartment building, and Brad Pitt told them, "Hey, that's a clean young girl. If you don't take in that room, I am." All right, and then their buddies came up later and tried to just force their way and have their way with the girls, but they had already laid claim to them. All right, so this was a normal practice during war. This is Isaiah 13 and 16. All right, because what you have done, it shall be done unto you. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 14. It said, "It shall be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, and every man shall turn to his own people and flee every one into his own land." These women began to flee from the soldiers. They dropped all their belongings and started running because they already knew what time it was. All right? And everyone that is found shall be thrust through. All right? And they were killing the men and the boys. All right? And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. And that's also talking about, all you people that are joined unto these Edomites today, especially our women and our men who are joined unto them in partnerships and in marriages and in that whole sort of thing. Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Ravished means raped. All right. When Cristobal Colon's men came over here, they were constantly raping the Taino and Arawak women, the native women of these islands and in these lands. That's how they lightened them up, because they were all brown skinned like Negroes once upon a time.
Немок. И вот мой взвод собственный, все мои солдаты бросаются и насилуют немок.
Wow. All right. This is and that's a part of war. And when this society collapses, when these lights go out, when there's no more 911, when these prison houses open up because they can't, the power goes off and the gates just open, they can't do anything else, feed them. You're going to have marauding groups of men. And you're going to have these Edomite soldiers and these foreign soldiers that are going to be doing this thing as well. What do you think those blue hats do? Go watch the movie Tears of the Sun. They also admit to you too that some of the last royal lines of the Hebrew nations, of the Jews, of the Israelites, of Judah, was in the west coast of Africa. They showed you that movie Tears of the Sun. All right? Because the Hamites, the other dark race, the other so-called black people, were trying to exterminate them. And the reason why? Because they're Hebrews. All right? They're not the same. But this is Lamentations 5 and 11. And it reads, "They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the city of Judah." And they showed you that in that movie Tears of the Sun. They were raping the women and then cutting their breasts off. Doing all kind of madness to them, those Hamites was. So these heathen nations have been raping Israelite women for a long time, man. For a very long time. And all of it's going to come back unto you. And like the scripture says, double. So guess what's going to happen to Edomite women and heathen women upon the day of the Lord? Because you think the day of the Lord is peace. He tells you, nay, I bring not peace but a sword. He's going to show you what to really do with a sword. And when he imbues the 144,000 with that power, and they go from being fishermen to hunters. This is Zechariah 14:2. And it reads, I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. And half of the city shall go forth in captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Right? Then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations when he fought in the day of battle. So it's going to be a lot of pillaging, murdering, burning of buildings, and a lot of rape going on. So a lot, like I always warn you women who've been willfully jumping from cock to cock, being on that cock carousel, the day is coming when that carousel about to ride you, and you're not going to get to pick and choose. All right? And it's going to be a very large carousel and a lot of rides with no rest, no break. And some of them are going to beat you and put cigarettes out on you and bite you and punch you. Yeah, because these Edomites are sick, and these soldiers are sick with all that pent up frustration. All right. This is Psalms 59. Let's go to Psalms. And 2. And it reads, deliver me from the workers of iniquity and save me from the bloody men. Who are the bloody men? Here's one I'm in front of you. And he's telling on his platoon and his countrymen as if he didn't do it. He did it too. He did it too. All right. Let's go to Psalms 26 and 9. And it reads, gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men. So there are going to be some among us who are going to be spared from this. All right. Actually have the power to do something about this. But the majority of you, remember, 2/3 of Israel is already labeled for death, man. So those of you that survive this pandemic, those of you that survive this pandemic, you still got way worse calamities coming your way. All right. You got famine coming, and just as bad if not worse, when Esau really reveals his horn and uses his greatest blessing, that sword. All right. This is Psalms 55. And 23, and it reads, but thou, O God, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. So, this guy got to live out his life, but his life, I don't know if he's still alive. All right, this was in 2020, actually, so this was a little over a year ago. All right, this was January 28th, 2020. So, and this guy was alive in World War II, so he's old, man. So he's either gonna die, or and he's gonna be born. He's gonna come right back into slavery, man, right back into servitude. Like it says, to the 3rd and 4th generation, the Lord might be crucial with it, man, and bring him right back. It said up to the 3rd and 4th generation. He might come back immediately as a newborn and still be eaten or burned in these nuclear fires that are coming. All right, or get his head dashed against the stone as a newborn. You don't know. The Lord is vicious like that. It tells you, and someone's going to be, how could you say that? Let me get a scripture. Since I said it, let me defend the gospel. This is Isaiah 45 and 7, and it reads, I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, and that's in all caps, so the Yahweh. I, the Lord, do all these things. Okay? So when these soldiers were let loose to rape all these women, the Lord did it, man. He allowed them to do it. Why? Because there was punishment unto the wicked. All right? This is Psalms 139 and 19. And it reads, surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. So all the blood that these Edomites have spilled, it's going to all come back upon them. That I can promise you. This is Exodus, and I'm going to just let this play on through. But this is Exodus 22 and 24. And it reads, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. This is the Lord speaking, man. And this was talking to Israel. All right? And to the heathens and also you remember the scriptures are manifold, and also to all the heathens that put their hands on us, because you got to remember everything that was done upon us by the hands of the heathen have to be done unto them. All right? So when Jake got out of order, this is the Lord allowed those things to happen. But he's going to bring it back upon your own heads, man. All right? He's going to bring it back upon your own heads. As a matter of fact, let's get one more. Let's go, actually about 3 more, and I'm going to let this play. Let me grab this one, and then I'm going to let it play through. But this is Revelation 13 and 10. And it reads, because this is the end result, and we're at the end. This is end game. In last prophecy, and last book of prophecy in the Bible, and we're there now. All right, but it reads, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Who led Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans into captivity? These people, his race, the Edomites. All right, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Whose blessing was the sword? The Edomites. And did they use that sword? You damn right they did. That's why they have what they have in the world today. All right. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So the saints of the Lord are patiently suffering, patiently and faithfully waiting to put to the sword and put into slavery those that put them in slavery and put them to the sword. It tells you in Isaiah 14. Matter of fact, let me grab it. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So we're going to take these people captives, and we're going to rule over our oppressors. All this contractual law that they have over us, keeping us poor, keeping our credit scores low, and and all these crooked laws that they write to railroad our people to jail and turn us into criminals and all that other mess. We're gonna rule over them. All right. But let's go back a little bit.
Нагоняем, мы упираемся, дорога загромождена, это отступает гражданское население Восточной Пруссии. Вот. Повозки, фургоны, автомобили, у них автомобили такие, не военные. Вот. И вот наша пехота и танкисты сбрасывают все эти повозки, фургоны, машины в кювет. И пока они сбрасывают, значит, солдаты срываются со своих мест и начинают насиловать женщин, немок. И вот мой взвод собственный, все мои солдаты бросаются и насилуют немок. Когда на спасение дети, матерей пытаются спасти, их застреливают. Их расстреливают, детей.
Wow.
Значит, теперь на дороге стоят генералы, наблюдают это, полковники.
Well, this is Jeremiah 50 and 23. How was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How was Babylon's become a desolation among nations? And America is Babylon the Great. A majority of your biblical scholars will tell you that. All right. So it's telling you that Babylon has been a hammer of the whole earth. All right. America's 246 years old. All right. And it's been at war 212 of those years of its existence. Or 222, I believe. Yeah, 222 years out of 246 years they've been at war. And no one started a war with America. America starts all the wars. And what happens in wars? Murder, rape, robbery, spoiling. That's what happens. And how is this hammer going to be broken and cut asunder? By the people of Israel, by the elect men, the hunters. This is Ezekiel 25. I'm going to start at verse 12, pointers in 14. Thus saith Yahweh power, because that Edom, these people, have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore thus saith Yahweh power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh power, or the Lord power. All right, and we know that that's a future prophecy, all right, because Edom has not been destroyed by Israel. There's no record of that. That has not happened. And the prophecies in Jeremiah and Isaiah are future prophecies, prophecies that are actually happening now. Call Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Habashai Ba'Shem V'Kakwadash Wa Abba Babal Shalom Kwam Yasharallah.